What's going on, guys? We're going to talk about some pretty sick stuff today. Vaush is one of the top political streamers at the moment that typically discusses or debates topics from a left-leaning point of view. He's also been described as a libertarian socialist. I don't personally know that. I really try not to get into the politics stuff. The point is, this guy's a big deal. He has a YouTube channel with just under 500,000 subscribers. His videos on that channel can range in viewership from the tens of thousands to the hundreds of thousands, and he has a huge influence over a large portion of people. Now, recently, there's been a lot of controversy around Vaush. I mean, he's a pretty controversial figure in general, but this is different. This is not political. Recently, during a live stream, he leaked the contents of his Goon folder, a folder dedicated purely for holding adult images, if you know what I mean, and his taxes for some reason. Which, by the way, that is not normal. Go touch grass. I do not care. Now, if that wasn't already weird enough for you, it gets worse, because this wasn't just normal adult-oriented imagery. These images depicted horses that were presented in a way that I only can describe here as very inappropriate. Like, without getting too specific, like, okay, you might know somebody that likes horses, they ride horses, but no. These aren't the type of images you would have if you liked horses. These are the types of images you would have if you liked horses, okay? One quick thing I think I should slip in here is it has been clarified by Vaush on this that he is not attracted to the horses. He simply wants to be the horse, because that makes it so much better. Because that's clearly not weird at all. That is clearly something that a well-adjusted, normal human being would be into. Yes, I am kink shaming.
Cry about it.
And I'm about to do way more of it, because these horses are not interacting with other horses in these images. These horses are not interacting with adult human beings in these images. No, they're interacting with lollies in some of these images. That's at least what people who have claimed to have seen the more high-resolution depiction of the pictures that were in Vaush's folder have said to me. I don't know exactly what the girls were doing in the pictures, but when I was exposed to these images on Twitter while browsing down my timeline, I can just tell you one thing: there'd definitely be lolly shit up in that folder, okay? I'm not sure what they were doing, but the lollies are there, okay? Now I know some of you are sitting at home right now and you're thinking to yourselves, you're saying to yourselves, what is a lolly? And for those of you who are going through that right now, just God bless you. I'm so sorry. Just do yourself a favor and just click off this video right now. Just end it. You don't have to go any further if you don't want to. But for those of you wondering and are brave enough to stay, a lolly is typically defined as a very young looking girl in a anime or manga. Animated fictional characters that resemble children that are often depicted in very inappropriate ways, doing very inappropriate things. Now, there's a word for a person who is attracted to the likeness of a child, but I will let you draw your own conclusion there. Now, recently, the H3 podcast has set out to expose Vaush for these things, but a lot of people were quick to point out that Vaush being a degenerate is not new if you've been following him for long enough. Vaush's career online actually starts off with him being a very well-known community member for another political streamer that goes by the name of Destiny, where he in the Discord of Destiny would be very popular for introducing very, very interesting philosophical questions to be discussed and thought over. Questions like this.
Well, wait, if the sex bot is just a toy, then why does it matter if an adult a kid robot?
Yeah, I'm not reading this crap. Are you crazy? I got the AI for that one. These questions would lead to very interesting discussions in the community, such as this one.
Do you guys ever wonder if anyone here has ever a minor while being an adult?
No! I try not to think about that.
Come on, guys, fess up who's done it, confess.
At Vaush, I d***ed an adult as a minor.
Unironically hot.
Now, eventually, Vaush was banished from Destiny's community for reasons that we can only speculate on, and that led him to leaving and creating his own community, and he's done an amazing job at that, and that's why we all know about him today. Now, there's a lot more examples that have been pulled from Vaush's large digital footprint that are similar to what we just went over, but that's enough for me. But I know there's a lot of people that aren't going to be happy with just the Discord messages and any messages really, because messages can be easily faked. What's a little bit more difficult to fake are clips, which there are also many examples of, but I've pulled here for you my favorite.
I have yet to hear a convincing moral or legal argument as to why possession of child should be illegal.
Okay, so the moral argument against owning CP, as if I have to give one, is that CP, the only way for it to be made and produced is through the direct abuse of a child. There is no way to manufacture CP other than abusing a child. Therefore, if you own a piece of CP, you are totally okay and fine with owning a piece of material that the only way it could have possibly been created is through the direct abuse of a child. Now, what he's trying to say here and what he's trying to say in a lot of these clips is like, well, the products in your phone may have been mined using child labor. Therefore, that is also immoral. The difference is here that there's a chance they weren't. And also, to mine these materials, it can be done ethically. You don't have to abuse children to mine materials. It is not equal to something like CP, where the only way to make it is to abuse a child. Are they both immoral? Sure, whatever. Are they equal? No. But regardless, there's your moral argument against it, Vaush. As far as the legal argument, it's illegal. What do you mean, legal argument? Have you ever seen, like, have you ever been on a jury in a courtroom? Do you know how legal battles happen? A legal argument is that it's illegal. You can't do that. If you go into a court and you're like, I own that, and I'm not going to say it because that could get clipped, that's the end of the discussion, because that is an illegal thing to do. The argument would be proving that you own it, not if you coming into the courtroom and saying, I own this. What are you talking about, bro? So this is like a developing story. Well, at least people covering this is new. There's a lot of creators that are coming out with videos discussing this topic further, giving more examples of this just being creepy. And the main point I want to go over here in this video, the main thing I want this video to demonstrate is that Vaush's behavior has been indefensible. I don't understand how anybody can defend him being in possession of this type of material, the material itself, or his defense of this type of material, or just other defenses he made in adjacent topics to lolicon or any weird shit like this. Now let me make something clear though. What I'm not saying in this video is that Vaush has harmed any children in any way, shape, or form. I've seen no evidence. I've heard of no evidence. I'm not saying that. I do not think that Vaush has physically harmed anyone. I do not think that Vaush in any way, shape, or form has harmed any children physically. I think Vaush has confused mental gymnastics for critical thinking, and it's led him to the exploration of some pretty sick shit, and has caused him to make statements that could lead to some pretty dark outcomes for others. Now, like I keep saying, this is nothing, all right? I gave you a taste of what's going on here. If you want way better coverage of this topic, go check out the H3 podcast coverage of Vaush recently. You can go over to their channel and check that out. Now, a defense for Vaush that you're going to hear a lot is that everything is always completely taken out of context. Now, that is not true for the H3 podcast coverage on this topic. I got all of my examples from their coverage of this, quite frankly. And the other examples that they made, I went over myself. They were not taken out of context. It took them about 4 hours to make it through all of the examples that they had. And that was specifically to stop people from accusing them of taking things out of context, which they still did. So yeah, I don't know. Go check that out for yourself, like I keep telling you to do. So I'll definitely leave a link to that below the video. Make sure you go look for that. So please like the video if you like the video, dislike the video if you dislike the video, subscribe if you're new, comment, and also seek help from a mental health professional if you or a loved one are attracted to the physical attributes of a child, fictional or non-fictional, or horses. Bye.
Every single video of someone struggling with time blindness, there will be endless comments from people being like, society expects you to be on time to play